GSL Code A for Season 3.
Over here in the middle left of Catalina, cheesing out the first.
SK Telecom T1 Fantasy.
First game.
See him look at me for a second. Up here to the north, the 1245. He is.
CJ Enthus Trust.
I'm thinking it's more like 1253 to be perfectly honest.
I thought you said 1240.
I probably did, but I don't know.
You're rethinking it.
I'm rethinking it a little bit.
You've recalibrated. That Hot 6 Cup or Hot 6 can intro every time, man. It's like so intense.
Great sponsor.
Gets me pumped, man. It's been sponsoring esports, not only StarCraft, for a long time.
League of Legends as well.
One of the biggest sponsors we have.
Yeah, they started with GSL, I believe.
I think actually even before that, the first thing they ever sponsored esports-wise was MVP's StarCraft II team. I think they did that first before the GSL.
I think you're actually right about that. I think I recall this. Good work, Wolf.
I'm on it.
Wolf follows the...
I actually do follow the sponsors for teams quite closely a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So, see, I mean, it looks like to be a Reaper opening, and nothing crazy out of Trust just yet, but we'll have to wait and see what he wants to do. Could do like a normal Void Rail or something. I don't really see those anymore, except when I'm playing on the ladder.
Alright, well, everything looking a lot more normal this game, which I'm actually happy to see.
Yeah.
I don't want it to end like 2 games like that. It's really cool to see one, but...
Well, that was so technical that it was basically beautiful. Like, I really enjoyed that last game.
Yeah. I have to completely agree with you. While I don't generally like cheeses, I love to just see a game like that pop out where it's like this very neat build order. He obviously knew exactly what he wanted to do with it every moment.
I know what you don't like. You don't like when a player only cheeses and is like building a career off of cheese alone.
Yeah, I don't like that, and I don't like some of these brainless, dumb cheeses where it's like, oh, look at this, you know, like
a 2 gate proxy against her.
Yeah, well, I mean, that takes a lot of balls, actually. I like some cheeses, I do. Some of these brainless ones, man. And
white cheddar is actually my favorite.
Fat-free white cheddar cheeses.
Oh, yeah, I never tried the fat-free version. But some things
are
less
actually greasy.
Yeah, some things are actually better fat-free.
Or reduced fat, sorry.
Reduced fat Cheez-Its.
Yeah, that's what I...
Yeah, that's what
I was talking about.
Yeah, dude, that is...
We've talked about it before.
We need to go get some of these Cheez-Its because there's actually a shortage.
I don't really care for them that much. They look good, but
I just don't know what to say. Or just I can't believe you just said that on TV.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
I can't believe you just think they're not that great.
Nabisco is never gonna sponsor me.
It's actually Sunshine as the company.
Oh, okay. See, wow, you know a lot.
Yeah, I do. Cheese nips are horrible, by the way. Don't ever.
Yeah, I've had cheese nips.
What do you think about Triscuits?
Oh, I used to like the garden herb Triscuits.
Yeah, those are really good, actually.
Yeah, I liked those when I was much younger.
Well, everything looks pretty normal here. Quick factory. I mean, it's not always very normal to see a factory like this, but for how Fantasy's been playing, it pretty much is. He's been loving this.
He doesn't want the huge groups of bio early on that most people just walk across the map with and force like a Nexus cannon, that type of thing. He's not really into that. He's not really into stim timings. What he's into is harassing you and trying to get ahead like that. And out of his match with Younghwa, 2 of those games, me and Wolf were actually talking about it before the break, and even though he lost 2 of the games, he got a pretty decent lead early on with via harassment.
Yeah. I actually, I think he might go like Marauder Hellion or something. What is this? He's got, oh well. Siege tanks, probably. Why would he build that in that order? Put the reactor down just to make the Hellions and move the factory. Is he just going to build the starport on it? I guess
I think he just wanted 2 Hellions exactly. But whatever
I think
we're seeing here.
Well, I think he's going to build a starport on it, right? Because, I mean, hold that thought. Let's see what this happens.
This is
force a very early Nexus cannon.
Yeah, and what's he going to lose? 1 Hellion? Takes a hit on another. Kills a couple probes, forces a Nexus cannon. Not that bad, I guess. You know, we were talking a little bit earlier about, you know, forcing Nexus cannons with these bio pushes. I guess you can force it just as easily with a couple of mech units.
Yeah. So, I mean, it looks like he's just using that reactor for bio, which makes a lot of sense. For some reason, I was like, I've been casting too many Byung TVPs. Like, what, is there a way it could be possibly, like, what is happening? Yeah, it's pretty standard transition out here. I had a feeling we might see Blink as a response. He actually added the 2 gates right after he killed that. He was like, all right, this is one of those builds where you just don't have a lot of units.
Well, he is, in fact, getting Blink, so let's see what he gets done with it. You know, this... I don't know if you really count this as much as a tech opening or a shutdown tech opening like I was talking about before, so if he does go and take an immediate third base, it wouldn't like super surprise me, but I'm not sure that it would be the correct level of safe.
Yeah. Ooh. Nice catch there. Wonder if he could actually blink into the main, really like get away with that. I just... these are unstimmed Marines for now.
Yeah, they are about to have stim, but it looks like he's getting ready for that blink in the main, as you suggest.
And the Marines are way out of position.
Yeah, this could be a problem, especially
he
if
could
they
actually
pick off
snipe
Tech Lab.
stim.
I don't
if
think
he
has
could
enough
chrono
time
boost
now.
like one more time on that, I don't think he can get it. But he could snipe a Tech Lab, that's for sure.
Yeah, it looks like stim just finished.
Yep. Well,
or is just finishing. There's no way. Yeah, there it
finishes
goes.
as he blinks, and that's what he wanted. It doesn't get it, but he still gets the Tech Lab.
Yeah, just missed that.
Now he forced a big stem and can blink out, but there are medevacs.
Yeah, this has been a really effective blink and still, despite not getting quite what he was maybe looking for there with that stem.
Well, a kill on the stem might actually win the game.
Yeah. A kill on the stem upgrade. We used to see a few builds here and there where people are actually targeting down stem timings, and
we've seen even Zergs target that with banelings and whatnot.
Yeah,
like
it's true.
Back when you had the wall at your natural all the time, and spawning locations mattered a lot about add-ons. Remember the days?
Never forget the days.
Never forget.
Well, it is a double Forge follow-up here with Colossus Tech, even grabbing an Immortal for some safety. So it seems like he realizes that, okay, if I play a very strong Assault macro game from here, definitely possible that I beat Fantasy just straight up. And I think he's right. I think if he plays very well, like he plays some of his better PvT, you know, he can't slouch at all. But if he plays like a game that he would play in practice, he might be able to do it.
Yeah. Widow Mines. We're seeing him again. And this map does have like two really... There's like a really good option. Like you have this good option about which third base to take as a Protoss here. You can take the one that's closer to the Terran, or you could most likely take the one that's further away, but if you can secure the third base and get that fortified position with your army and defend drops that way, then the fourth base is like almost for free. If you've secured that location, if you're dominant enough on the map, then you take that fourth base. It's like the Terran's probably never going to walk over there.
Yeah, like
he's checking that base right now, actually, too, first.
Oh. Well, so he's going to stim a Marine up the ramp here into the natural. Sees a Colossus and a couple sentries. Can't quite attack in there.
You've told him in the last series, like, just use Marines, don't scan that much.
Not a bad idea, maybe.
Third base goes up. I love how aggressively Fantasy takes these third bases. It actually looks like Wings of Liberty style almost, how he's doing it.
Yeah, he's so heavily on the map. Ooh, that was a nice blink forward. He's so heavily on the map that he's saying, hey, if you're going to come over here and try to force a cancel, I'm going to just wreck some stuff in your base. But in this case, it feels like Trust kind of caught him. Caught him being maybe a little bit over-aggressive.
Yeah, that Observer in the middle of the map was so critical. He even gets this medevac almost.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he can actually turn around there, but doesn't think of it.
The Colossi didn't follow, too, so...
Yeah.
I think he's concerned there's another drop that he's missed coming back, because Fantasy's always got to drop somewhere. That's like,
true.
That's like actually what will now be known as the Fantasy rule. There's always a drop coming somewhere. You've got to be ready for it.
Well, these stalkers continue to push on. Oh,
he's
man.
getting those weakened medevacs and blinking back. Looks back twice.
Very well done there.
I'm actually so glad pros have started to adopt this multi-blink retreat style, because it actually gives you so much more flexibility to pick off other units, and it messes with the Terran AI. If you target a specific stalker and that one blinks back, then they run past ones you left. There's like so much extra micro potential there, rather than just blinking everything at once.
That's very, very true. If you have the time to hover over your units, it's a great addition to your play.
Oh, he sees those Widow Mines.
Look at this. He was trying to set up a situation in which he blinks towards him to pick off medevacs, and he gets wrecked.
I feel like Fantasy, like in another life, was actually like a bomb maker or like a demolitionist or something, who was like, I don't know, man.
He is some sort of master strategist. That much is certain. He comes up with some really great, intelligent ideas. They don't always work, but when they do, oh man, it's beautiful.
All right, well,
Look at these forces he has out here. Look at this funny-looking little force.
He's got these 2 small armies, but with Widow Mines, they become so much more awkward to deal with. I don't know about this.
Right.
He's got Blink, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that didn't work out so well. I guess the Widow Mines actually get some decent hits, but this army itself is just too small and too weak.
2-2 on the way much faster here for Trust. And he's got the extra Colossi out here. Fantasy's third base is so vulnerable. Trust could just identify this. His Colossi still have some time left to regen their shields, but I mean, it's not going to be too long.
Well, moving forward, Fantasy does have that 2-2 on the way, 4 Vikings at a time. I feel like his Viking timing might be a little bit better this game than what we saw against Younghwa.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to exactly when these went down. Maybe it's just that the Colossus are not being as chronoed or maybe started as quickly after each other as we saw before, but I feel like his Viking count is a little bit healthier.
3 Stalkers dead, actually almost more than that.
Yeah, really nice.
Or to add on to what you were saying earlier, man, I just feel like the focus for Trust has been a little bit more on his poking early on. He's always focused on his Stalkers. He's going forward, trying to pick off units left and right. You know, can he get a medevac? He's just trying to dominate the sphere, like rather than trying to sit back. Younghwa plays a much more passive mid game, whereas Trust is just like, I know you're aggressive, but I'll meet you right in the middle of the map and we can do battle. You know, come at me. So 11 Vikings to 5 Colossi, really good ratio here. And Storm transition is on our way.
Yeah, we already have Ghosts coming though.
Yes.
So that Storm is not going to be ready before the Ghosts are. They're definitely going to be sitting there waiting for him. He's getting that +3 armor as well. The 2-2 about to finish here. So Fantasy not so far behind in upgrades, which is a really good thing. Because a lot of those games against Younghwa, it was like just a solid 3-3 done well before the 3-3 of Fantasy. And I don't think we're going to see that this game. I think Fantasy's going to be able to start his 3-3. Unless he wants to go for some sort of SCV pull or something.
Totally possible. That doesn't really seem to be his style, though.
No, I don't think he's going to, but the option is open to him. He has a lot of Vikings. He has his Ghosts out.
The build that he's doing is almost, it looks identical to the build that Innovation did with the timing. It's really hard to hit that SCV pull on this map, though. You know how far you have to go to the third base? It's so far, and if you want to hit the natural, then you got to go up a ramp. I mean, I suppose maybe if you want to do something like this, you could attack the natural when he force fields you out, then you go to the third base or something, but I just really don't think it's a Fantasy style. I'd be shocked if we saw that. And he's already gone up to 6 Ghosts. The timing window here is pretty much closing.
Yeah, I do completely agree with you on that. This looks like Fantasy is going for that very long game. In fact, that could be for a planetary. That CC, it doesn't look like it's built in a location to easily take a 4th. But it is a location that could be good for planetary, I guess.
Well, it's also just like a really safe location where like no one Zealot's going to go and slap down the SCV.
Yeah, I don't really want to see that come to planetary though. I hope he does take a 4th base pretty soon here. Now,
well,
he does start
that cloaking. It's for like this super technical style that he has, where no matter how many Colossi his opponent has, Fantasy has like so many Vikings that he will get every observer. his mass Vikings are not for Colossi; they're for observers.
All right, so you know, I was talking before about the 3-3 timing versus when Fantasy will start it.
Yeah.
And he actually started it quite late compared to what I was guessing he might do, because he was actually pretty close behind 2-2 finishing of Trust, but Trust is finishing up 3-3, and we don't even have halfway done for +3 attack here for Fantasy. So he is going to be at a little bit of a deficit for upgrades for a while.
As he's 4 Templar on a Warp Prism to dodge EMPs, but he's got to be careful with the Vikings!
Oh man, really well done by Fantasy there. Takes that engagement perfectly so far.
Yep. And the Ghost also in the medevac, similarly, it's for that EMP to dodge feedbacks. And also to dodge Stalkers and whatnot. Colossi. Not going to prioritize a medevac.
You know, if we do see him pick off that Warp Prism with 4 High Templars in, that's a pretty big deal.
Actually, I think he might have unloaded them too, did he?
He may have.
Because, I mean, I think that's like where he's like, oh my god, there's so many Vikings.
Yeah. If I lose that, I'm in trouble. But we do have a little group of units down the bottom right-hand side of the map here of Fantasy. I think he's just stimming up into that third base, but the army is too close.
Storm drop.
Really well done.
EMP on that Archon is so cute. Yeah, this is not enough. It's just going to be picked off here. And because he knows the army turned around to deal with the High Templar and the Archon, for some reason he sent every unit back to deal with one Archon. So he's pretty much pretty much okay with how things are over here. He's can send his whole army to deal with the medevacs as well. So the Viking count is like insane. He's probably up to like 17 at this point.
Is he? Wow. He's going to be at like nearing 15 ghosts. Yeah, it looks like 14 ghosts very shortly here.
Yeah, 15 Vikings, 9 ghosts right now, 19 and 37 for Marauders and Marines. So he's got a nice maxed out army. And his SCV count's low enough to where his max is really strong. And,
oh my God.
Artosis!
Oh, this is an insane storm flank. Every ghost goes down. These Vikings are killing off the claw side, but he should lose them as well. Wait a minute, though. No splash damage. His Marines and Marauders doing better than maybe they would have otherwise.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's actually got a lot more reinforcements back at home, but they're not here yet. And a lot of reinforcements in the sky. It's these upgrades, though. 3-3 really strong for Protoss. Linking forward, here come those Zealots going forward once again. And he could actually blink up there and keep those Zealots coming. Guardian Shield helps out as well. He also has a Plasma Shield +1. So the Archons have a little bit of extra tankiness. Probably wishes he made those into a planetary.
Oh, this is pretty rough, man. The rallies are coming in. Fantasy is on the ropes right now. His supply far lower than his opponent's. Still has a good amount of army supply, but where is it?
Well, it's in these cloaked ghosts. He keeps going for these snipes, and a lot of these Vikings, too, dead supply right now.
Very painful.
There's the Observer, and now he's going to kill all the ghosts. And with that massive warping of, what, I think like 13 Zealots he just warped in right there. That may just be the nail in the coffin here. These bunkers aren't going to keep him alive forever, especially once that Immortal stops doing a crab dance back there. He's always going to go ahead and snipe these next side, but there's one at the bottom right. He can just transfer his probes to. And Fantasy looks down for the count here. Sorry, Fantasy fans. It does not look like he'll be joining your Brood War heroes here in Codes.
No, it certainly does not. Trust is going to be able to take him out. GG. Well played by Trust. I think Fantasy played pretty well overall as well, but, you know, I feel like he might be just... some of the ways that he plays this is a little bit too gimmicky. Like, he's so heavily trying to rely on Cloak Ghosts and sniping observers and things like that, and it's just not quite working.
If I can be totally real, I feel like Fantasy is trying to figure out a different way to deal with late game TVP, because most standard, in today's meta, late game TVP is not a place any Terran really wants to be.
That's right.
Unless you're ahead. And if you're even, it's so hard to take a good engagement against Protoss. There's 2 forms of AoE you have to deal with. You have to balance your ratio of Vikings and Ghosts. And I think he's like, well, maybe I can rely on Cloak a little bit more here, maybe some Widow Mines. And even though he didn't get through, his strategy isn't fully refined yet.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this could be the beginning of some sort of new style of playing TVP that might change the meta if he can just refine it a little bit more, because it certainly has a solid mid game. It's just the late game that seems to be a bit concerning.
I think you're right about that, and I think that Fantasy is the type of player that isn't just going to say, okay, it's time to copy Maru. He's not that type of guy. He's always played his own brand of StarCraft, so hopefully we see him back next season or maybe in Pro League, just wherever we can.
Yeah, Pro League finals are coming up. He plays for one of the winning teams. So
Maybe. So hopefully we'll see about that. We're going to go ahead, jump to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, the final match of Code A for 2014 Trust.